Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Entitled Grandma won't let me have mobility aids and claims I'm faking being disabled. So I, 21, don't feel comfortable sharing anything too personal or medical online, but long story short, I'm disabled. Right now, I walk by myself, but it's extremely painful and a struggle. I have days where I'm too disoriented on my feet and slow to do it on my own. I've lived with my grandma basically my whole life. I still live with her because of my disability. She hasn't always been kind. When I was younger, she was argumentative and accused me of faking many things to escape school. It pissed her off to no end when my doctor finally told her off for being so horrid about my disability rather than offering support. In the comfort of our own home, after a certain visit to my doctor, I let her know that we were looking into mobility aids to help me live much more comfortably. I didn't expect her to have a total bitch fit over it. She got weirdly angry at me, even crying as she screamed at me for faking it and scamming our government. In her eyes, I'm just lazy and don't want to work, so I pretend to be disabled to get money, which is near impossible where we live. My grandma does not have any trouble with her walking. She's a rather strong and fit woman for her age. She's in her 60s, but all of a sudden, she claims she's the real person who needs that help and not me, saying I'm taking advantage of her. She said that if I ever brought a wheelchair into this home, she would take it as she needs it and I don't. I thought she was just upset at the news. It's not easy to see a relative of yours slowly decline, so I let her do her thing. She came into my room later and demanded I get dressed to walk around the block with her, hinting that I'm fat and need it. I'm 63 kilograms. Of fucking course I can't do that. I'm in almost constant pain, and she knows that, so I refused. I wouldn't even make it up the street without needing a break. She tried to drag me out of bed, but instead I hit the floor, and now, on top of the pain I feel in general, I also have some intense pain in my knee. She refused to help me up, even when her partner told her she's being ridiculous. I have never once in my life gotten a sorry from this woman, and I'm getting real sick of it. What does she do that's positive for you? I would hope being on disability would qualify you for both housing and food assistance in the States. Do you have a medical advocate who could help you looking into accessing these resources? Nothing really, except drive me around because I can't do that myself. The money I get is mostly used on helping us live in this house. There's 4 people here, and it goes toward groceries, bills, paying board like my brother to live here, and rarely goes towards my medical needs. Now that I'm older, I'm starting to look more into what I can do to escape this because she's awful for no reason. I'm not located in the States though. We are Australian. Ugh. Yes, OP. Please look into leaving your grandmother's house ASAP. And please report this abuse to your doctor or adult services because what she's doing is abuse on a disabled person. And I don't see this abuse getting any better. In fact, I see it getting worse as OP gets older. Heartbreaking and horrifying that someone could treat a disabled person this way. They are going through enough already. The least you could do is give them some empathy and support. Sad. I wish OP the best, and I hope she escapes that hellhole soon. Entitled A-hole got his dog killed by allowing it into a horse paddock. This happened a few years ago when I was often horse riding at a friend's barn. She owned 6 horses, 4 ponies, and 2 Hanoverian horses. Her neighbor had 3 dogs, which had no training whatsoever, and he often let them run into the horses' paddocks to not have to walk them, despite the warnings of my friend. The bigger dog finally started to chase the ponies, nipping their heels to make them run, while the other 2 ran among them, yapping and and growling. My friend would go and drag the dog out of the paddock and again warned him to keep his dog out of her property, because if it ever tried that with the male Hanoverian, the dog would be history. But the guy just laughed at her. He knew that my friend had tried to report him and that didn't work, so he felt entitled to use her property as a dog toilet and her horses as dog entertainment, and even hinted at that. Finally, it got so bad that the horses became so nervous they couldn't be taken for a ride anymore. They were too afraid of the dog, and she warned the man one last time to keep the dogs out of her paddock, since she would now put the horses with the ponies so the male horse would protect them. And he just laughed again. He seriously believed his 40-kilogram shepherd mix was a match for a 700-kilogram gelding just because it was a hunter and the horses were prey. So what happened had to happen. The dog again tried to chase the ponies, attacking their legs, and finally didn't back off when the Hanoverian tried to fend them off gently. When the bigger dog growled at the horse and tried to nip the horse's legs, he kicked it and broke its back. Then he ran it over. The dog was of course deceased after that, but the gelding was just protecting his herd. The neighbor then tried to report my friend to the police and animal control, but got rebuffed. They clearly told him his dogs had nothing to do on other people's property, and it was his responsibility to keep them out of it. At least, his other dogs never came back into the paddock. They were very afraid of the horses after their friend was killed, and they got a few nips from the horses too. It's absolutely horrific that an animal had to lose its life simply due to the sheer entitlement and stupidity of its owner. I fully believe that people should have to go through competency and empathy testing in order to be able to own an animal. And if something like this happens, i.e., the animal dying due to your stupidity, you should never be able to own an animal again. But let's end things off with a lighter story. Operation Bookworm. So this was in high school. I had a guy bully me whenever he saw me, and because I was some years younger, I couldn't do much. Fast forward to finals week. I went to the toilet, closed the stall, and noticed someone had hidden his lecture there to cheat in the finals. So, sitting on the toilet, I grabbed the book, and lo and behold, it belongs to my bully. I thought about it for a split second, and then proceeded to take 3 to 4 little shits in his book. Just enough to ruin it, but not enough to make it spill out of the pages. I closed the book and put it back where it was. I later heard that he started to puke uncontrollably when he discovered his literally full of shit book and couldn't cheat. Then even failed that course. The whole ordeal is known as Operation Bookworm between me and my friends to this day. Well, I suppose you could say that OP took fecal matters into their own hands, play shitty games, win shitty prizes. I hope this one didn't gross you out too much, but my twisted sense of humor just needed to share this one with you guys. I couldn't not, really. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed these 3 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!